Now, we're going to talk about minor. Here's your formula right here. All right, this is your major scale formula. But in order to find the minor scale formula, it's really easy if you follow one trick. Instead of having to memorize this whole, half, whole, half, what you all got to do is find your sixth scale degree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's A. We're going to follow it from A, right from your sixth scale degree. So our formula for minor scale is this: whole, half, whole, which is literally just starting from the major scale on the sixth degree. So whole, half, half, whole. Just a different ordering. We just started it from here instead and went through the cycle. Now, the formulas are kind of tricky. As long as you remember the major scale formula, whole, half, whole, half, you'll be fine. Now, because the minor scale starts, like we said, on the sixth degree of the major scale, that would start on the solfege syllable la. We call these syllables solfege, Solfege.
Now, these scales are really useful in case you want to be a singer. Learning your solfege syllables, your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and later on, your D, your re, your may, your fee, all those extra, the kind of like the sharpened flats of your solfege syllables. Those are things that you would use all the time if you ever get into a vocal music career, especially if you got to join chorus here in high school or maybe in a church someday or any sort of a choral group. Really, this comes back to being scales, just a different way of doing it since you're using your voice.
We're not going to focus on that too much here. That's more of a chorus class thing. So if you take a chorus, whether it's in church or in school in the future, you'll learn more about these solfege syllables. What we really want to focus in on here are these scale degree numbers. Now, you probably are thinking like degrees. Well, what are you talking about temperature for? It's not so much a weather thing. This is more the number note we have in a scale. So this is what we're going to focus really in on as we move forward. It's going to be very important for the upcoming weeks when we talk about different musical keys and harmony and how to make chords. So let's go over to the keyboard and see how major and minor sound similar and different. All right. Let's just remember our chromatic scale. That's going to be very important. Let's go over. So if we take the formula we've talked about from the scales, we can come over to the keyboard and apply it. Now, this is a great practice right here. I'm telling you guys, if you guys ever want to get into playing keyboard, this is something you're going to really want to be able to do. So even though it didn't sound that exciting at the beginning, really give it a chance. So, we'll go back to our good old trusty C key, which of course find our group of two black keys, and then there's C. Now to play the scale, remember we're going to go a whole, half, half. So from C, a whole step above C, there's your half step. D is a whole step. Now another whole step from D is, skip the black key, E. Now we said whole. Now we need to go a half step. Now that means we're going to go to the next key. If it was a black key, we would play a black key, but there is no black key, so we're going to go to F. So we have C, D, E, F. So whole, half. Then we have another whole up to G, whole up to A, whole up to B, and then we have a half step to C. So we have whole, half, whole, half. Whole, half, whole, half. That's just the scale right there. It's the same thing going back down. Now, the other thing you may notice here is we used one letter of the alphabet twice. Otherwise, we just used the music alphabet right on through. So we, for example, started on C, and it's with C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then we repeated the C. Those are two different Cs. One's lower, one's higher. They're separated by 8 keys. Think like what's an 8-sided figure? An octagon, right? In music, we say an octave. Octave, octave. That's the distance between two notes of the same pitch. All right. So there you go. A scale will take you right up an octave. But how do we play it? So we'll start again on C. What I want you guys to do here is we'll use our right hand because a lot of the time what's going up and down the scale is going to be our right hand to start off. So eventually we'll talk about the left hand later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb, put finger 1, our thumb on C. Take your pointer finger and play D. Use your middle finger on E. Now, before you think that we're going to move on to our ring finger to play F, we're not. What we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb and we're going to slide it underneath our middle finger, play F. And then at that point, you can take the rest of your hand and pivot on your thumb, put your pointer finger on G. And from here, we just go right up the hand so that our pinky ends up on C. So we're going to think about it in like 3 notes here and then 5 notes here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just literally the pattern for the finger numbers. We have 1, 2, 3. Thumb comes underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And coming back down, it's the same thing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we take our middle finger, cross it over the thumb, play E, bring the thumb underneath, pointer finger, thumb again. This is a great practice method. I know it might be kind of weird to do it on a touchscreen. I'm telling you guys, this right here is something that we use so much in music. So try this with me. I'll try to go nice and slow. Let's try this out. Let me maybe find a beat for this. How about that? All right, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. So 1. There you go. So that's just one way to get right up and down the scale. Now, this is something that we can really challenge ourselves with too. Like if you really want to get a good challenge, maybe we can go ahead and try it a little quicker. 1, 2, ready, go. This is a great thing to practice here if you're just trying to get, started with some music. You can always just go ahead use a metronome. You can go back into Band Lab and sequence in the drum machine and just adjust the tempo. All right, the different tempo will kind of get you a different speed, and you can get your skills up to the point where maybe you could even play nice and quick. And that's something that's gonna take some time. Don't rush to it.
All right, guys, we're running out of time here, so I'll see you back for part 3.